The long journey is over. Under the gaze of Jesus, Jerusalem, the holy city, stretches out. Every Jew has a particular attachment to the city, a visceral bond. All my springs are in you, says the psalmist. The city, which hides God's secrets, is preparing to welcome God's envoy, but the long wait has clouded its eyes. Before entering Jerusalem, Jesus stops and weeps. Even God weeps. Tears are not a sign of weakness, but of love. It is a gesture with a human and divine flavor. It is the tears of a son of Israel expressing people's pain and God's sadness. Tears are the outward sign of an unspeakable bitterness that grieves the heart. There is no more inconsolable cry than one who mourns a child who does not want to be held. This is the tears of Jesus at the sight of Jerusalem. He, who is God, became man to bring people to God, and people dismiss him with a peremptory, "No thanks, we don't care." Jesus suffers, as any person who loves suffers, and does not resign him herself to the unhappiness of the people they love, their stubbornness, and their wrong choices. Jesus knows well that even in our lives there are points of no return, that there are things that will leave their mark, that will lead us to destruction, that will not leave us stone upon stone. We may have seen the bodies, the hands, the eyes, the words and reasonings of many brothers and sisters returning from drugs, alcohol, disordered lives, or poorly chosen situations for years. Some things can no longer be erased, and the more time passes, the more they imprison us, leave us no way out, and obscure our awareness. Many of us may have begged people we love to stop living in certain ways, to indulge in sadness and anguish, to let themselves live, not to make bad decisions, and to keep the point with pride and arrogance. But love implies freedom. God has loved us and loves us with free love. You cannot save Jerusalem by force, just as you cannot save those you love by force. We can only provoke their freedom, but never replace it. Fortunately, God never stops trying. God always creatively offers us God's mercy. To go to heaven, we don't need heroic acts. To go to heaven, we simply need a little humility. Salvation is here before us. It is that hand that God extends to us, as Michelangelo well paints in the center of the vault of the Sistine Chapel. God stretches out God's hand all the way, but still between God's hand and Adam's there is some space, the space of our liberty. God can't go any further. We must take that extra step needed to touch God's hand, because God will not force us. Contemplating this sin, the Church understands her mission even better. Evil is not fought by hurling thunderbolts. We are instead called to manifest the compassionate face of God. A church that shares the story of its people cannot close its eyes to evil and cannot avoid to suffer with and for them. Jesus prepares to enter Jerusalem to offer himself. It is the only answer to evil, the only one worthy of God. Amen.